Sa isang edisyon na naman ng ating Wednesday Roundtable at Lido. Mahalaga ang pag-uusapan ngayon sapagkat may kinalaman po ito sa tuition fees na controversial. Kahapon, nakadalo ako sa isang forum ng Foreign Correspondents Association of the Philippines which had Budget Secretary Ben Jokno and Finance Secretary Sandy Dominguez with Undersecretary Cesar Chavez of Department of Transportation. Mahalaga yung pinag-usapan sapagkat nabanggit na magkakaroon ng entrance exam for would-be college students. Kung paano magkakaroon ng pera is another issue. Although sabi, pwede ikang 50 milyones muna yan at dapat maging stricto ang pamahalaan sa pagbibigay ng scholarships. Isa pang bagay, magkaugnay ito sapagkat merong isang binatilyong napatay. Samantalang sinasabi niya dun sa mga pulis na di umano'y pumatay sa kanya, na meron pa siyang exam kinabukasan. You know, anong impact nito sa atin? Kaya nga, nailalagay ko rin sa Facebook, anong recollections mo nung iyong 17th birthday? Ano ang kahalagahan ng buhay para sa iyo when you were 17 years old? Pag-usapan natin yan ngayong umaga. We're joined by Albay's Pride, Congressman Joey Salceda. Biglang ganun, ano? With Dr. Ted Herbosa, Executive Vice President of the University of the Philippines, the only university in Diliman because the others are in Katipunan Avenue. Mr. Ramon Casiple, kasama natin mula po naman sa Institute for Political and Economic Reforms. Si Director Elmer Talavera ng TESDA, nakasama ko rin sa technical panel ng IPER sa Commission on Higher Education. At si Ambassador Lozada, dating Ambassador ng Pilipinas sa Palau at dating mambabatas mula sa 5th District of Negros, Occidental. Let's start the ball rolling. Pag sinabi natin na free tuition fees, ano ang pananaw? Ano ang aasahan ng tao mula sa Kongreso? Dahil ang problema na walang pera.
Yung title kasi,
Papakilapit na yan.
yung title kasi, Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education. That's Article 14, Section 1. Nakalagay doon. It's a constitutional mandate. Quality education at all levels, accessible to all. So, problema lang pagdating sa access. Bakit bibigyan mo pa ng access yung dati na may access? Yun naman talaga yung issue eh. So, pag sinabing accessible to, hindi katulad sa primary, sa secondary, talaga minamandate na free. So, actually, the title was picked up really from my bill, which is House Bill 2771. Kasi linidak to last January. Kaya hindi ko maintindihan kung ano yung bruhaha. Nina-approve to sa LEDAC at yun ang gagamitin. January 24, it was approved by the LEDAC. Pag sinabing ko, yung na-approve na lang kasi kita nyo naman, pinirma ni Presidente. Although nagkaroon ng konting debate. Ano yung mga components nito? Unang-una, sa SUCs, nawala ng tuition at ipakukulong ang mga SUCs pag magkumolekta sila ng tuition tsaka miscellaneous fee. Ngayong taon, wala na silang tuition dahil may 8 billion pero insertion lang sa GAA. Pag hindi namin ginawa yung batas, next year wala na yun. So, ginawang batas para may magmamandato sa DBM kung anong gagawin ng mga SUCs. Yung mga SUCs ngayon may roughly about 1 million college kasi yung iba dyan hindi naman talaga, they offer other courses. So, 1 million. Tapos sa LUCs, there are 294,760 students that are enrolled in LUCs. Pero these are 111 LUCs or local universities colleges. But only 16 are accredited. So, pag-usapan muna kasi yun ang first component. There are actually 5 components to this bill. Free SUCs, free LUCs, free TBIs and TESDA. Number 4 is the subsidies, even in private haze. And number 5 is the National Student Loan Program, which is patterned after the Australian model called Higher Education Contribution Scheme, which is the most successful. Doon sa free LUCs, free SUCs, ang unang-una, ilagay natin sa konteksto. Nagbabayad ang gobyerno ngayon ng 42 billion para sa lahat ng SUCs. Dinagdagan namin ng 8 para yung mga tuition na kinukuha nila, so 50. So kung tutusin mo, ang dinadagdag lang ng batas 5. Hindi ko alam kung bakit tumatumbling na tayo. 5 billion. Let's put it. Ang tunay na issue dyan, kung ayaw nyo ng 5, alisin yung buong 50. Kasi dati nang pinafunding sila ng gobyerno ng 42 billion plus 8 billion. Yung 8 billion galing sa new insertion ng BICAM sa GAA. Yung sa LUCs, out of the 111 LUCs, local universities and colleges, only 16 are accredited. Ang nagsisingil nila is about 2.974 billion. Dahil 16 lang ang accredited, ang babayaran lang ng gobyerno 113. Ito yung dalawang mandatory. So, kung iisipin mo 10, kasi nga sabihin na natin incremental yun para dun sa free tuition, sa miscellaneous 5, 15 plus 113 para dun sa LUCs. Dun yung sa TVIs. TESDA TVIs. Yung sa TESDA TVIs, right now, they have 3. And so, under the law, pag nag-aral ka sa isang TESDA textbook institution, TESDA run, hindi na siya pwede mag-charge ng tuition. Kaso may budget doon kami na 3 billion. Supposed to be 6.7 billion yan, na which will essentially benefit about 980,000. Kasi their average is about 6,500 per course. So, ngayon ang may 3 billion na doon. So sabi ang attitude ng DBM yun na lang muna ang gamitin para doon. So, ineto natin doon sa mandatory kasi there are mandatory ibig sabihin talagang walang magagawa ang national government at may mga optional o executive discretion. Yung mandatory talaga 50, 10 free tuition, 5 free miscellaneous, 3 sa TESDA, 13. Dati na may 3 sila. So, cancel. Dati na may 8 sa Unifast. So, cancel. So, ang hinahanap lang naman is 7 billion. So, at nakita na namin kung saan kukunin yung 7 billion. So, kitang-kita. Ang problema, doon na sa iba. Kasi, paano naman yung haze? Siniship mo yung supply curve mo in favor of the SUCs. Baka magkaroon ng comparative disadvantage yung mga private haze na they also make a contribution to nation building. So nilagay namin yun na kung ang gobyerno may pera, for as long as your lowest 10% up to nasa mahirap ka, pag nag-enroll ka, halimbawa sa Ateneo o sa Lasal, pero pagka-submit mo, magkakaroon ng parang ranking, parang 4-piece, may proxy means test. Pag lumabas ka dun sa lowest 30%, bibigyan ka ng automatic na voucher. Pero nasa iyo yan kung saan ka mag-enroll. Supposed to be, on the first year, 13 billion yan. Kasi ang tina-target is 30%. Lowest, decile 1, 2, and 3. So, 13 billion, kung maximum yan, is 33.4 billion. On the first year, kung pati yung optional, pati yung mandatory, ay lalagyan. Yung isa kasi, yung fifth element dito, which is the National Student Loan Program, which is patterned after Australia. Kung saan, pwede ka mag-aral kahit saan, tapos sila na ang sisingil sa gobyerno, iipunin yung nautang, tapos pag may trabaho ka na, at lumampas mo ng income mo yung 360,000, saka ka magsisimula magbayad. Pag hindi ka makahanap ng trabaho, hindi ka magbabayad. Kasi kasalanan ng educational system mo at saka ng labor markets mo. Hindi mo na yan sakop. So, ang ibig sabihin, yung student loan program is very difficult to set up. Kaya it was being given time. Kasi ito, sisingilin ka from your SSS, GSIS, and other forms of collection. So ito yung 5 components nitong universal access to quality. Kaso, in-oversimplify, at saka hindi ko makita kung lahat pagbibigyan. Kasi nga, dun sa sorry inubos ko yung oras.
Sige, may oras tayo.
So pag tinignan mo kasi yung TES, which is a tertiary education subsidies, kahit saan pwede ito gamitin ng isang estudyante. Halimbawa, taga-SUCs ka, kinulang ka pa, wala kang pag-born in lodging, pwede mong kumuha doon. Pangalawa, para sa iyong living allowance, para sa iyong at saka nilagay pa doon, pwedeng gamitin para sa review, pwede gamitin mo para sa lahat na kakailanganin mo para magkaroon ka ng trabaho. Doon naman sa student loan program, pag hindi mo nagamit yung Republic Act 10931 at any point in time in your life, kahit tayo dito, nakasaad doon na pwede kang umutang para 1, mag-masters, 2, mag-doctorate, 3, mag-doktor, 4, mag-lawyer, pwede pa nga pambayad sa iyong mga professional and accountancy review So, talaga, the purpose was really to make
Very
it
comprehensive to,
universal access
Oo.
na. So, in other words, we took from many modalities globally, from Australia, as well as from Europe, from the US, kung ano po ang what works. We don't want a model that will essentially blow up in our faces and create fiscal difficulties for the intended beneficiaries. May isa kasi diyang driving force. This is called intergenerational equity. Ipapangutang ng nanay at tatay ang anak niya makatapos lang ng college. So, katulad ng nanay ko, 4 kami, 2 kaming yung isa nag-UP, ako is full scholar sa Ateneo, pero yung 2, hindi. So, nangutan na nanay, nung mag-retire yung nanay ko walang natira sa GSIS dahil binawas lang lahat. So, wala nang karapatan yung nanay ko na yung
mag-enjoy man lang kahit paano.
I don't know kung enjoy ang tamang word, pero essentially, that concept of intergenerational equity is being missed out in the whole discussion. Babalikan ko na, total na sa akin ang mikropono. Ilang Pilipino ba, out of the 102.78 million Filipinos, ang may college degree as of end 2016? 9.52 million. Even if you use the 25 to 64, 19% lang. So, ang ibig sabihin, ang layo pa naman natin sa pwede natin masabi na masasagad natin na sobrang-sobra na ang college graduate natin. Pangalawa, tingnan mo yung ating socio-demographic profiling. Alam mo ba ang top 10% natin based dun sa magnitude ng ating average income? Top 10% decile. Decile 10. Ang tawag, middle class. There are only 2% rich in this country, 520,000. Yun lang does not deserve any state assistance. Doon lang talaga pumapasok ang UP. Kasi out of the 42 billion na ginagastos ng gobyerno para sa SUCs, lahat 13 billion na pupunta lahat sa UP. At yun, nagmumukhang bahayag-hayaga na maraming mayaman sa UP. Pero sa BU, hindi naman ganun katindi. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ganun ka-blatant o brazen na there is so much na yung batas is favoring the rich at the expense of the poor. Pangalawa, pag tinignan ko sa yung socio-demographic profile, papakita ko sa inyo, ang lowest poor. Andali
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Lowest poor comes from?
Hindi, ang point ko dyan, ito. D1, subsistence poor. D2, subsistence poor. D3, poor. D4, near poor. D5, near poor. D6, informal worker. D7, minimum wage earner. D8, above minimum wage earner. So, hindi ko maintindihan kung saan ka nang gagaling, kung saan hugot. Ang D10 mo is middle class. This is based on the 2015 FIES. At blino up because yung FIES natin accounts for only 5 trillion of the 17.5 trillion. May nawawalan 12 trillion.
Saan nandun?
Hindi naman mapasok ang Dasmariñas Village ng mga enumerator So, ibig sabihin, if you look at it, the comparison between D1 and D10 is deceptive because you're just comparing the very, very poor and the poor. Because virtually the rich is absent in the FIES.
We are not in a way informed how they spend their money, right?
Hindi, it's not the point. The point there is kasi sinasabi lang that only 13% of the poor are in SUCs. So, that makes the rest middle class or struggling middle class.
Okay. Alright, napakaganda nitong discussion na to. Pero sabi nga ni Secretary Jokno kahapon, only 12%
13.6%
ang nakakarating ng kolehiyo.
So, ibig sabihin mo, kaya nga universal access.
Sabi niya kahapon.
There's greater compelling reason to do this because you need to capacitate them. Not against to compete between Bicol and between Albay and Kamsur, but because we need to compete. Noong 1960, ang number of ang OFW, only 40% have college degree. Recently, 63% ng lahat ng OFW may college degree. So yung source of competitiveness or the return society by way of the contribution to the OFW, not just in their dollars, but in terms of their purchasing capacity is huge. Kasi ang laking sinasabi na ang college degree daw, ito yung tinuro sa atin ng World Bank, na ang college, ang basic education daw goes to society and tertiary education goes to the individual. That is correct, both yes. Kasi pag tinignan mo ang average wage ng college ay 116% higher than the one with high school. Kahit konting college degree, 30% higher. Pero napupunta sa individual, hindi napupunta sa society. But the studies now show that even to society, the returns are ang preba ko na nga dyan, yung OFW, 64% ang may college degree. So kung walang college degree yan, makakapag-compete ba yan sa ibang jurisdictions? So, ang point ko dyan is, hindi ko naman sinasabi na lahat mag-college eh. Access lang.
Okay.
Access lang.
Grant them the privilege.
Hindi ang privilege. Salos, paghihirapan niya yan. Kung inutang niya, babayaran niya ang gobyerno. At pangalawa, hindi lang naman yung tuition ang pinagbabayaran niya eh. It displaces a lot of the other family expenditures that they need to do.
Okay.
Anyway, let me just give you, kasi ang hirap ng there's another thing here. There's a gross correlation between gross enrollment ratio, yung ratio natin, and national wealth. Comparatively, that's the where the Philippines is. So, as a pathway towards national common prosperity, gross tertiary enrollment ratio is very critical at this stage of our nation building. Anyway, babalik lang po ako dun sa sa mga kasi talaga ang daling i-bloat nito. Ito, kung gusto mong yung mandatory SUCs and LUCs, free tuition 10, free miscellaneous 5, free tuition in LUCs 113, free TESDA TBI 3 billion. Kung babayaran natin lahat by 2021, 45 billion lang. Incrementally.
Okay.
So, is it financeable? As I've said this year, if you take out the optionals, kasi ang compulsory is SUCs, LUCs, TBIs. Yun ang tatlo. Yung test at saka yung National Student Loan Program, which is actually yun ang pinaka-bill ko, which is really to adopt. Kasi in Albay, alam mo, may papakita ko sa inyo dito. Kaso it concerns some of my neighbors there. Alam mo yung Albay, nung pumasok ako, yung poverty incidence namin ay 41. Naibaba ako ng 42, ay ng 15. 15? Oo. Ayan. Yan, 17.
Uh-huh.
Sa buong Bicol. Bakit kami lang? Kasi yung pinaka-next sa akin, paras ng naibaba ko. Infra, panahon ni Pinoy, marami. Tourist, paras din may mga tourist. Naparami.
Mm-hmm.
Ang kinaibahan is, you want to reduce poverty and their access or their share of the fruits of economic. Kasi sa Pilipinas, palaki mo yung ekonomiya, hindi ganun kahirap. Halos nasa 78 quarters na tayo of uninterrupted growth. It's the share of the fruit. So you need to ensure that you're embedded from the very start, from the initial strategy, yung share. Ang ginawa ko sa Albay, nangutang pa ako sa Land Bank, halos universal access, mag-enroll ka lang sa any college doon. Yung provincial government nagbibigay ng either voucher or we pay for your tuition fee or we refund your tuition fee because we really wanted to encourage na we want to build opportunities through growth but we want to build capacity through higher education. Kasi kahit si Bernanke, sinabi, this is my last point. Kasi I filed this in 2013 actually, 2003. Kasi ang nagturo sa akin yan is a World Bank country director before. Pinakita sa akin yung Australian model which is called HEX. So final ko, kaso bata pa ako, hindi mo iniintindi sa Kongreso. Pero ngayon na matanda-tanda na ako, final ko to August, nalidak siya ng January, naging batas siya ngayong So, ang point ko dyan, there is benefit to seniority. So, ang point ko dito is Di ko na ubusin para may mga ano naman yung ating mga kasama. ang point ko dito is hindi naman we will not, it is not a be all, it is not the panacea.
Hindi
But
silver bullet yan.
it is a very critical component of ensuring inclusion to an economic growth strategy in this country. Kasi otherwise, it just goes to the very rich and brings the money out of the
Okay.
country. Okay?
Alright. Sige. Pero ano nakikita mo mula sa IPER? Yung sinasabing statistics ni Congressman Salceda speaks well of what's going on in the Philippines. So inclusive growth will never come at this point in time. It will remain a pie in the sky.
Well, ang unang-una mong usapin yan pundo eh. Kaya ang question dito, priorities. We have a 3.73 trillion budget. Ang inihingi nito, malit lang eh. Actually, I was in Senate yesterday. Nag-uusap nga kami ni Senate President Pimentel. Nakwento niya ito eh. Na hinahanapan nga daw ng budget. At nagkataon, may nahanap nga. Ngayon, ang problem na yun, kung from my point of view, secondary yun. Kasi ang mas usapin sa Constitution natin, priority yun eh. In fact, sa lahat ng pamilya ng Pilipino, number one priority in terms nung pag-achieve ng growth ng family mismo, makalabas sa poverty o kaya mag-improve yung buhay, edukasyon. Kupon-kupon pa yan eh. Hindi yan bago. Kaya ang usapin talaga dyan ano ba yung priorities ng government for so long? In fact, in terms of the anti-poverty program, lumilitaw ito isa sa pinakamahalagang component ng ganong anti-poverty program. Kasama yung universal health. Dapat yung universal education. Kasama yan. Kaya ang question dyan, paano mo hanapan ng resources? Hindi question ng may pera ba wala. May pera kasi may pera. Ang question ay priority.
Priority ba yan? Sa tingin mo ba priority ni Presidente Duterte yan?
Sinainan niya. Pinirmahan niya.
Okay. So at least may commitment.
Oo, hindi lang commitment. Batas na yan eh. So it's incumbent for Congress to find the money. Yun ang usapin dyan.
Dahil babalik tayo kay Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
Oo, pero that question should be addressed to the government itself. Hindi siya dapat ang nagtatanong yan. The
Okay.
government should be the one to answer that.
Alright. Very well. Anong impact sa UP nito?
Actually, very little, no? Ang mangyayari lang kasi when it became law, dati nangungulekta ng tuition fee. Pero ang UP, meron kaming socialized tuition scheme, the STS. Yun nga yung gustong i-junk ng mga aktivista. Pero actually, yun yung dinidescribe nyo. Na yung aming poorest of the poor na estudyante, pumasa ka sa UPCAT, pag mahirap ang pamilya mo, hindi lang libre ang tuition mo, miscellaneous at lab, meron ka pang 3,500 pesos a month na stipend. Tapos ang daming support, pwedeng mag-working student, pwedeng. So talagang natutulungan yung talagang kailangan ng tulong. Ngayon kung mayaman ka naman, magbayad ka ng full tuition. So nagwo-work yun. In fact, yung pinambabayad namin na stipend na nanggagaling doon na binibigay doon sa mahihirap na estudyante ng UP, ito ay galing sa tuition fee na nakolekta namin doon sa mga anak ng mayayaman. Yung nagre-reklamo kayo na madaming mayayaman sa UP. Actually, hindi totoo yun eh. Kasi ang tinitingnan lang nila, Diliman. Ang Diliman ngayon, mga taga Metro Manila na lang nag-aaral. Hindi kagaya nung panahon ko in the 1970s. Ang kaklase ko, mga valedictorian ng buong public school ng Pilipinas. Today, nag-aaral na sila in our 21 campuses and 8 constituent universities. 8 po ang UP all over the Philippines hanggang Mindanao, Baguio, all the way. So, yung mga mahihirap, hindi na pumupunta ng Diliman yan. So, sino nag-aaral sa Diliman? Siyempre, yung mga taga Metro Manila. Mga nakakotse talaga yan. Kaya agawan kayo ng parking sa Metro. Ito ang budget na gusto namin para ma-enroll lahat ng pasado sa UPCAT. Ang sinasabi lang, magkano collection nyo sa tuition fee? Inaalis yun ng Congress. Tapos, parang kino-compute na. Ngayon, ang mangyayari, wala na kaming kukolektahin tuition fee. Ibibigay ng Congress. And maliit pala yung figures, yung in totality. So, viable. So, ang next problem namin is really maintaining the quality education. Kasi being in the academia, making sure that your faculty are PhDs and talagang, and the graduates match the jobs. Yung pa yung isa. Kasi meron tayong job job miss natin. Hindi yun yung kailangan ng mga industry na nangyayari ngayon. So, kailangan i-match din yun. Marami tayong mga problema pa doon. So, yun, saan namin kinukuha pera noon? Madaming lupa ang UP. So, out of all the lease of the land, yung pera noon, yun ang pinapangbayad namin yun sa mga nag-PhD, nagma-masters ng mga profesor para ma-maintain yung quality na ituturo dito sa mga batang
Ano
papasok
average
sa UP.
age ng mga professor ninyo ngayon sa UP?
Hindi ko alam yung averages, pero marami kaming bata ngayon kasi ngayon because nga nag-K11, K12, ini-encourage namin lahat ng batang professor na mag-masters na at mag-PhD.
Aha.
So, and then nakikita ko, yun ang pinipirmahan ko, yung mga funding nila for their master's degree sa iba't ibang bansa. And hopefully, pagbalik niyan, mas dadami na yung ratio natin for mga PhD.
May guarantee na hindi aalis ng Pilipinas yung mga yan?
Ay, babayaran nila back eh. Kasi tayo na nagbabayad. Nung panahon ko, ako nag-aral abroad, ako naghanap ng sariling funding ko para magtulong sa UP. Ngayon, meron na kasing income yung UP doon sa mga yung private, yung mga lupa. Kasi we are the biggest landholding in government agency. So, we are, in our charter sa 9500, we are supposed to lease out this land or use this land, but cannot sell it, but we can use the economic gains for improvement of quality higher education.
Very well.
So ginagamit yan sa faculty development
Okay.
para ma-retain namin yung magagaling na faculty.
Sa TESDA, anong impact nitong batas na ito?
May school of thought na because of the tertiary education sa TECO, magpa-flood towards the public TVIs. But in our budget, may nakalaang 2.8 billion for training for work scholarship program. And ito ay largely, at least 90% of such, goes to the private providers. In the country, we have 4,000 mahigit kumulang na TechVoc institutions, both public and private. At 122 lang po dito ang directly state-funded. So the Training for Work Scholarship Program benefits largely yung mga nag-aaral po ng mga trainees natin sa private TechVoc institutions which have registered programs with TESDA. Yun po. So, ang aming panukala po ay we're working, tama yung sinasabi ni Kong Joey, na nasaan ang pondo. We're working it out na i-retain yung Training for Work Scholarship Program and yung aming kinocompute ngayon ay over and above the existing budget na napakaliit naman compared to the demand. Actually, parang ang budget hearing po namin ay almost next week po.
Uh-huh.
At we are being expected na mag-present po ng isang computation to cover the must do's ngayong darating na to 2018. The mandatory component po yun sa tuition. Sa limang binanggit nyo ay yun muna po. Although sa aming unang pagpupulong po is may isang pananaw na yung nagte-technical education are mostly those who cannot go to college, no? Cannot afford to go to college.
Cannot afford.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, ang inano dito is some of the components na nasa second component, no, yung test. Ang sabi nga ng aming ng Director General, kung walang pamasahe, hindi makakapasok. We are looking at the possibility na sana ay within the defines of the law na yung mga poor na ay mabigyan ng pamasahe. So, or yung malalayo ay mabigyan ng pondo para sila ay may dormitory. So, yun po ang aming wino-workout ngayon and within the available budget. So, that is the picture now. We are rushing computation on the budget requirements.
Uh-huh.
So, pag tinignan mo yung batas ito, in-open ko, yung TESD, which is Tertiary Education Services, at subsidies, kasi ayaw ng mga kaliwa ng voucher eh. So, pinangalanan namin subsidy. So,
Pero yun din yun, right?
yun din yun. kaysa mantala kami sa BICAM, so sumarosip ka naman. Pwede siya sa SUCs, LUCs, private HAZE, at saka TVIs. Pero yung at the back of our mind, talaga TVIs and HAZE, yung mga private HAZE. Kasi nga, mali-left out sila. Sa ngayon, 1 million ang nasa SUCs. Tapos 1.9 million na nasa private A's. Pero tama yung yung worry ko talaga dito. Kasi may paradigm shift na embedded dito sa strategy na to as a consequence. Ang consequence kasi dito, effectively, the SUCs will be bureaucratized. And you will have a very powerful CHED. Kasi magpe-present na muna sila ng kanilang budget para yung budget nila makarating sa DBM bago makarating sa amin sa Kongreso. Kasi ngayon, we're very liberal in the approval of the budgets of the SUCs. We don't even look at them. Masabi lang na SUCs, pasado ka agad dyan sa House o sa, if at all, dinadagdagan namin. Pero ngayon, they will be now, I think, mas, hindi stricto, kundi mas conscientious pagdating po sa deliberation ng mga SUCs budget. Ang pangalawa, and which is a very critical issue, when was the last time we had the SUCs modernization in this country? Whereas the private A's have been corporatized. Binili na ang Enyo ni Henry C., binili na ni Lucio, dati pa kay Lucio yung UE, yung UNC binili ng Ayala. So essentially, they have access to modernization funds. Pero yung SUCs, dahil sa halos mukhang pabigat siya sa gobyerno, ang tingin namin yan, ma-approve lang namin yung pang-araw-araw nila. Okay na yun. Kaya now, we're putting the burden where it should be, which is the NG. Kasi so you cannot rely on SUCs autonomously to look for their own modernization because they have to compete with the other priorities of the national government. So, kung priority mo talaga ang quality education, it is now incumbent upon CHED, which becomes a very powerful, for the first time, I think, very powerful department to fight for SUCs modernization. 60 years tinyanan ko. The last time na may mga konting SUCs, yung DAP pa ni Pinoy. Maraming SUCs doon na magpagawa ng building na ganyan, pagawa ng building na ganito sa mga SUCs. But before that, there was hardly any SUCs modernization.
Okay. Well, Congressman Lozada, dati kang mambabatas, it was during your time na yung local government units nagkaroon ng kanilang mga universidad at mga kolehiyo.
That's true. The way Congressman Joe explains it, it's really very clear. Nakikita mo yung kung saan kukunin yung pondo, saan gagastin yung pondo. But I think the confusion here lies really on the lack of implementing rules and regulations. So I think once we have the IRR for that, everybody would just really be put in place. Right? And then everybody would be able to find out ano ba talaga ang kailangan gawin dito para ma-implement yung batas ng the right way.
Paano yun kung yung mayor, hindi naman interesado dahil minana lang niya yung universidad doon sa pinaltan niya. Paano na yun? Yun na nga eh.
Yeah, but I think the local government only gives certain percentage.
Hindi sila ba? Kasi
Pakisuyo nga.
yung pagkasabi kasi dito, very clear. Yung LUC sa SUCs, pinantay in the first provision ng batas, which is component, Section 4. All Filipino students are currently enrolled in an undergraduate degree in any SUC or LUC shall not pay any tuition fee and miscellaneous expense except for fees held in trust like school campus fees, student council fees, or fees that are essentially just very particular to your course like siguro sa pagpalipad ng mga eroplano, kung nasa PATS ka. So hindi na yun kino-cover nitong batas. Very careful naman po na differentiate ng batas. At saka sa pananaw ko, at least it puts the issue right at the center of the national conversation. So, kung kulang ang pera, at least ngayon, yung tayo bilang isang political economy will now be compelled to really look at it. Is this important to you or not?
Okay. Ang kabutihan sa UP, meron kayong alumni association. Napapadugo nyo yun eh. Pero yung TESDA graduates, walang alumni yan eh. Di po ba?
Malaki ang tulong ng alumni pero para lang dun sa mga university. Napansin ko sa mga kolehiyo na matataas ang income ng graduates. Medicine, law, engineering. Napansin ko yung education nagmamakaawa sa akin na kailangan i-improve yung building ng yung Benitez Hall.
Yun ang problema rin ng Philippine
yung mga
Normal
teacher,
University.
hindi naman high income yan after mag-graduate na kagaya ng abogado o doktor o inhinyero, architect, ganun, malaki. Tapos marami rin yung mga, yung support ng, ang biggest donor ng UP is not a UP graduate. The biggest donor, you see the building in BGC. Si Henry C. And he never graduated from UP. So ang feeling ko, yung private sector also has a role in terms of helping universities. And nakita ko to in other big universities abroad. Malaki yung tulong ng industry. Pero alam mo naman, ayun na naman yung left, sasabihin, commercialization ng pamantasan. So these are the issues that we actually always handle. Even itong income namin from, let's say, Ayala, yung Techno Hub at saka yung Town Center. Gusto ko isulat doon sa scholarship ng bata at ng teacher coming from the commercialization funds of UP. So ginagamit din yun talaga to improve the quality. Tapos we're now trying, dati mayabang ang UP, number 1 daw sa Pilipinas, National University. But we have to compete in the global market. We are now spending a lot kasi itong panahon ng yung past president, si Pascual, nag-internationalize siya. Sabi niya, let's benchmark and see how we compare with the other universities. Napag-iwanan na tayo talaga. Yun yung capital investments na kailangan naman ng National University. If you, even with my own private universities, nakakompete ko, higher education, LaSalle, Ateneo, UST, pag napasok mo yung mga library niyan, pumasok ka sa UP library, maaawa ka. So, may library, yung main library.
So, UP Law Center kasi silang repository ng
UP Law Center, yung mga batas, tulong sa government. So I think what the National University wants to look at now is how do we help in national development? How does we have a population that is 50% below the age of 25.
Yes.
All we need to do is educate those young people and they will create the wealth for our country in the future.
Okay.
They will create the development.
Sa TESDA, yung mga graduates nyo, hindi nyo naman pwedeng gatasan yun para sa projects nyo, right?
Actually po, isa yan sa mga agenda items ng aming bagong secretary, si Sec. Mamonjong, na hikayatin, kalapin itong mga graduates, alumni, at tingnan ang posibilidad na makakuha ng una, sila ay maging katulong at maging from beneficiary, maging benefactor ng sistema. At ibalik dun sa mga tech-book institutions, both public and private, ang nakuha nilang tulong. No? Yung sinabi kanina na kalakip nitong batas na ito, yung modernisasyon, hindi lamang ng mga SUCs, kundi ng mga tech-book institutions, at nakasaad dun sa batas na magkaroon ng development plan. Dapat nga ay gamitin ng maayos yung pinupuhunan ng gobyerno para sa upkeep at ng facilities and equipment at ng kanyang mga buildings. Sa taunang budget po ng tech-book institutions, ay nakakalungkot na hindi nabibigyan pansin ng capital outlay. Kasi talagang kung may napakanipis, pati na po yung MOE. So ngayon po, dapat ay masinop ang lahat ng mga tech-book institutions under TESDA ng paggamit ng pananalapi at ma-preserve and sustain itong quality technical education sa bansa.
Okay. You think it's possible?
I just have only one concern. Maybe this is in the IRR, in the law. I don't know whether you have safety nets for political interference. I have SUC in my town. Ito palagi yung pinag-aawayan ng mayor, congressman, governor. Kasi hinahati-hati yung mga tao. Oy, 30% ng mga estudyante akin na may recommendees. So dapat, since it is libre, it's for everybody. Diba? So do we have that safety net in the law, or maybe we can include that in the IRR since we're still working on the IRR?
Hindi siya compelled, when it was being written, both in the BICAM as well as in the technical
Nobody
working.
thought about it.
No, we were unang-una, bakit para bang hindi importante sa akin? Kasi hindi man talaga ako nakialam eh. Sa inyo lang ata eh.
In my place, oh my God, it's patayan yan. Oo, kasi it's power. Nakikialam pa nung kapitan.
The mere
Konsehal.
ang point ko dyan, the mere fact it's universal, then it takes away the basis for differentiation. Which is why we really push for kasi nung una, nilagyan talaga namin yan, pati sa SUCs, na tatlo yung disqualification. Kung hindi ka Pilipino, pangalawang course mo, at kung hindi ka lowest 50%. Tinanggan yung lowest 50% kasi nga, yung pag-administer nung proxy means test, which is just as expensive. Kasi nga, kung 80% na ng yung may under Pareto optimum. Bakit mo pa?
I see the point for the entrance exams which Secretary DBM is advocating, yeah. Because pag may exams yung estudyante, walang pakialam yung mayor, congressman. Anong score niya?
So, angkop lamang yung examination. Pero gaano ba talaga katindi ang mga politiko? Yeah.
We come from the same...
Hindi, marami na ako nakausap sa TED. Okay. Hindi ko na sabihin mga pangalan. Baka malo. Pero, the history ng mga SOC kasi, pati na yung locks, politika. Karamihan dyan. Alisin mo na siyempre yung mga UP kasi nandyan at saka iba yung history niyan eh. Pero marami yung nagkaroon ng history na tinayo yan ng isang congressman o ng local government, usually it's the governor or city mayor, kasi may political motives in mind. Dalawa yan. Yung papagoodshot sa mga botante, scholarship, plus yung services sa community. Pangalawa, campaign machinery yan. Yan ang unspoken part. Yan ang unspoken part. Marami na kaming mga kausap dyan na SUC tuwing election, umaatras sa electoral reform.
It's not only in students, including employment of faculty and...
Ayun yung pangatlo. Employment, kasi yan eh. Kaya, kumaga, it's a plus for the whole community. Ang unspoken doon, it's a plus for the incumbent. Kaya pinag-aawayan yung mga issues actually, including the money.
For me, see, the SUC in my town, I had it, I established it, legislated it, yeah. When my term was finished, it was only a college, but when somebody took over my place as congressman, she made it into a university. So, yeah. And then...
Teka muna. Shiba o he?
Pareho sila eh. Pero she talaga yung nagtrabaho.
Okay.
Now, her term is ending and of course, another relative will be coming next time. And nawala yung mga vision ng initial establishment of the college.
Okay.
Pwede na siguro sa local, pwede. Pero yung accountability mechanism sa manyang grabe. Ako araw-araw pagising ko, nandyan na yung local media, may social media, pati na yung constituency work ko, kung nakapila na yan dyan. Pero tingnan natin, out of the 54 million voters, ilan lang bang college graduate? 17%. So, di ba, it's also good to have an enlightened national electorate. So you can vote for national, given the fact that 85% of the entire resources of the government are lodged in the national government, in the president. Then it makes sense to have a more enlightened national electorate. So I'm not saying that we sacrifice the local electorate. They become more, pero there are countervailing forces. For as long as they remain highly contestable. When you say contestable, I mean these local markets, these local political markets, political.
I have a question to Congressman Salceda. Someone asked this to me on Facebook, said, what will happen to UP, which is nationwide, when the federal government kicks in? I can see the SUCs that were created by the governors and the congressmen of their districts. They will become the state universities there. But UP has 21 campuses all over the country and 8 constituent universities. So parang 8 kaming university. Sabi ko, it has to be federal pa rin. It has to be federally funded and continue to be. So, I don't know what your opinion is now that you're talking about
Well,
federalism and then higher education.
I think UP as the only national state university, it's a very special and specific status. National state university. And therefore, it will serve as a binding force that will allow the forces of autonomy in terms of initiative, subsidiarity, at the same time give it, some kind of an umbrella or a unifying or a binding force. Essentially, it becomes a binding force. In other words, it will retain studies that are common to all or individual studies in each of the regions. Kung magastos tong universal tertiary, edi lalo ng federalism.
Okay. Masaya yan. Okay. Magandang pag-usapan yan. Okay. Hindi, katulad yan. Another case in point is Philippine Normal University, which has campuses all over, like Lopez, Quezon, and in Mindanao. So there goes another problem. No? PUP has campuses all over. Pero let's shift to another topic. Namatay yung si Kian Lloyd. No? Hanggang ngayon pinag-uusapan pa. Coming from a political scientist, ano pong tingin ninyo dito? Ano ang inyong pulso? Ito ba ay, sabi, game changer?
Well, hindi pa siguro, pero it's already a warning sign kung political crisis ang pag-usapan. Ano? Kasi may mga cases na in the past few months na may ganyan. But ang kaibahan nitong Kian case, ito yung pinansin ng mga institusyon, tsaka ng like media, simbahan, the opposition. Basically, it's already a public issue. And I think may international implications pa. I don't think tipping point siya. In the sense na this is already a political crisis confronting the administration at nakataya yung survival niya or I don't think so. Pero binukas niya yung pinto sa pagiging isang political issue. Meaning, if not handled well with administration, it can very well be lead to a tipping point. Hindi na yung shared invulnerability, yung popularity ng Duterte administration, tingin ko nawala na. It will have to contend in the normal political contentions na.
Okay.
It will have to defend itself.
Tama po ba yung pagkakaunawa ko sa sinabi ninyo that this case opened a can of worms? However, they refused to go. However, they
Iba yung
refused
can
to
of
go
worms,
fishing.
Opening the door.
Hindi, paano kasi you open a can of worms but you refuse to go fishing. So you have a can of worms. Yung worms pamain mo yan sa pangingisda. So, anong impact nito?
Well, nasabi ko na yung pagbukas, makita mo ito doon sa mga responses kasi like, ang pinakamalala, ito yung pinakamalala, simulan natin. May lumitaw na isang grupo. Whether it's a fake group or genuine group, itong PADEM. Yung Patriotic and Democratic Movement within the AFP and the Philippine National Police. Of course, the AFP will deny it because it's not, hindi nga formal part yan ng AFP. Pero yung sino man yung nag-isip niyan, malamang part ng kanyang rationality dyan o kanyang assessment, ripe yung time para maglabas ng ganyang klaseng mga statements. Yan ang isang effect niya na yung perception. We're still in the perception stage kasi wala pang real na threat, I think, in a sense, parang testing the waters siya. Kaya hindi pa siguro can of worms ang correct statement yan. Yung testing the waters pa yung rito.
Testing the waters.
If define the waters fine, then posibleng mag-lead to other later, Ako, actually, hindi pa ako doon tumitingin. Kung nakulang naman ng usapan, Kasi the Duterte government is within the context pa rin naman ng historical natin na former colony ng US, napakalaki ng role ng US sa ating politika. The US government is now friendly to the Duterte government because of President Trump. Kaya anybody who goes to the US asking for help to oust the president, I don't think will get a hearing.
Okay.
The problem is, within the US, may politics din. At may problem si President Trump doon. So, hindi mo yan pwedeng mahiwalay yung dalawang aspects na yan.
May kaugnayan, kumbaga.
Hindi lang kaugnayan. I would rather say na talagang may direct impact sa isa't isa yan.
May direct impact.
From the US to the Philippines.
Okay.
I'd like to remove the politics out of the case of Kian and look at this as a police matter. And the way I look at it is that we need to improve our police operations. All over the world, most of the police operations already use body cameras and car cameras. And we see this all over the internet, yung hinuli na police sa speeding, yung even accidents that happen, and operations of actual police are covered by a dash cam and by a body camera. So to me, the solution there is simple. We want things like this to stop. We must also spend for and empower our police force who's fighting the drug lords.
Okay. Maganda to.
That's part of it. Ano? Actually, involved din kami din. I was a former chair ng CIDT Advisory Council. Merong Patrol 2013 na program yan. Ano? Anong panipinoy ito eh? Continuing. Ngayon, ang problem ko rito at this point in time, kasi nag-modernize ang CIDT, hindi masyadong alam ng tao to, pero yung computerized database, meron silang mga CCTV na sarili at saka nakakonect sila sa CCTV ng lahat ng police all over the country, pati sa airport, sa seaports, and so on. No? I mean, yan ang nagawa ni General Magalong actually nung panahon niya. In terms nung modernization, talagang nagawa yan. Ang problem actually is not, I think, yung technology, yung tao. Kasi ang problem ng CIDG, for example, undermanned sila eh. They have an authorized force natin, mga 2,100 na dapat. Less than 900 sila ngayon. Kasi hindi ganun kasimple mag-train ng mga investigators. At mababa ang quality talaga ng investigators pagdating sa lokal. Yung mga CIDU na sinasabi. Sila yung frontline eh. Dito sa anti-drug, sila yung frontline diyan. Ang problem dito, dalawa sa tingin ko. Based observation din namin sa Advisory Council. One is yung question ng edukasyon nitong mga pulis. Mula human rights yan hanggang sa simpleng methodologies ng crime and anti-crime. Ano. Pangalawa, yung question ng yung how it is run. Kasi yung leadership question, napakabigat yan. Parang military ang running ngayon eh. Tingin namin hindi dapat kasi civilian agency ang police.
Eh, sabi naman nila it's national in scope, police in character. Civilian in character.
That's a slogan. Ang problem pa rin dito, follow orders. Ganun palagi yan eh. So, pag ganyan ang sitwasyon, everything depends doon sa boss mo. If your commander says, gawin mo ito, kahit ayaw mo, wala ka sa posisyon para umayaw. Although theoretically pwede. Kasi follow orders yan eh. So malaki din ang usapin diyan kung ang officer corps ng police ay one, immune sa partisan politics, pangalawa, malakas ang moral standing nila, pangatlo, very well trained sila sa police, yung police na pag-iisip.
Okay.
So lahat yan, usapin yan ng reform. Ang tingin ko, ang problem dito sa lumitaw sa case ng Kian, yung ibaba, ay halata mo hindi sila sumunod sa protocols eh. And the number one protocol dito ay human rights actually. When you arrest somebody,
You read the Miranda rights.
the Miranda rights, dalhin mo sa piskalyan, kasuhan mo.
At saka hindi pwede kasuhan to, 17 years old.
May handling din dyan.
May handling yan.
May handling din dyan.
May handling din.
The point is, hindi na sinunod lahat yun. Kaya lumitaw ngayon, ako, ang personal ko na tingin dito sa case kasi, EJK ito eh, clear case.
Clear case. Pero,
Nahawakan mo, na-aresto mo, huli mo, pinatay mo.
would you agree to the statement of the good Chief Superintendent Roberto Fajardo that this case is heightened, politicized, and sensationalized?
That's beside the point. Ang unang point na dapat niyang pinasok dyan tama ba ginawa ng pulis niya? Ang sagot doon, hindi All the evidences so far, bawa yung placement nung barrel, naka-left hand yung tao, right-handed pala
Tapos
siya.
yung autopsy report ng Public
Autopsy
Attorney's
report.
Office.
Mabibigat yung CCTV, witnesses. I mean, except sa statements nila, wala nang ibang nagsusupport ng kanilang version Kaya kasi Fajardo is on leave. Tinanggal siya.
On leave pala. He was forced to leave his position. How do you look at it?
First, I would like to state clearly that I support the war against drugs, okay? But I strongly oppose these extrajudicial killings and the senseless killings. You have so many thousands of them. The worst thing is, ang dami ng pinatay, and I think that investigations should not end with identification or arrest of the assailants. I think that the most important thing is accountability. Walang accountability ito. No one accounts for all of this. Kaya hindi like this policeman, instead of asking the question kung ginawa ba ng husto ng police niya yung nangyayari, he's still trying to tell people that this is all politics and all of that. No. He should first be accountable for the actions of his men.
What do you have to say about it? Because you deal with people who don't go to college and rely on technical vocational studies.
Kaya nga po yung ang tech box sector ngayon ay pinoposisyon namin kontra droga. But gusto kong ibalik, Camelo, dun sa unang tanong mo kanina. Where were you when you were 17? Ako po noon, unang taon sa kolehiyo. Pinalad na makayari ng NCE. Kapilot tayo noon Pareho tayo, sir. Pareho tayo ng numero. Pwedeng ako yun na nakabulagta. No? So, it's not just one statistic, but isang isang kinabukasan. So, siguro, andyan dyan naman ang kapulisan ng ating mga methods of handling particular situation. Nakakalungkot. At ito siguro ang dapat ipamulat sa mga kabataan. Hanggat maaari ay maging mulat dun sa posibleng kahihinatnan ng ating menace ng droga. But kailangan talaga ay mas malakas at mas matinong kapulisan.
Okay, very well. I'll pick it up from there. What's the difference between these three policemen and Marvin Marcos and Espinido?
Wala. In terms nung mga kaso nila, Kasi lahat sila may mga accusations Ang handling pa siguro ang usapin. Kasi sa case ni Marcos, may actual case na
Marvin Marcos.
Marvin Marcos.
Liwanagin natin.
Merong naka-file na case na Pero ang handling sa kanya, ibinalik. Kasi from a suspended na status, binalik. Actually, issue yan sa amin, sa CIDG. Kasi mga bagong appointed yan sa CIDG. Hindi yan sila taga-CIDG.
Hindi taga-CIDG yan. Sabi ng kababayan namin dati sa CIDG.
At the CIDG leadership, hindi, sabi nila, hindi nila alam yung nangyari sa Rayton yan. Ang SOP kasi dapat bago mag-operasyon, alam niya sa national yung case na yun, yung Albuera Leyte case. Hindi nila alam. Hindi rin alam ng regional director na dapat yun ang nag-order niya. Oo. So may kaso talaga. Ang usapin lang doon, dahil may case na nga, that case should be, yun na yan dapat ang mag-determine Although may controversy kasi yung ikinaso, hindi murder. Ang kinaso homicide, kaya nakapag-bail. So may mga question pang nangyari doon. Yung Espinido naman, ang naging usapin na parang yung tatlong policeman na nag-grade, may mga napatay, hindi lang ganun kalaki yung public outcry dito. Kasi yung mga namatay, may matagal ng history at saka reputation din na krimen. Ibig sabihin, wala kang question dito sa whether innocente ba o hindi. Pero yung handling nila, eh may question pa rin doon. Yung protocol ito na question. Kasi nagsaserve ka ng warrant gabi, reminiscent yan ng martial law Kung may warrant na kasi, pwede mo, I'm not saying na illegal yun legal actually yun. Pero, ang question doon, pati mapaghintay, checkin mong, nandun dyan, maraming witness, etc. So, in terms ng actual na nangyari, walang pagkaiba.
Okay. Congressman, what are your thoughts about this incidents? How will it impact on the business climate? Because we're looking for tourists to visit the Philippines. We have areas na masasabing talagang dadagsain ng turista. Merong lugar na pupuntahan ng mga mangangalakal. How will this impact on these projects?
Yung prism lang dyan rule of law and social justice. Both of them are rule. Both of them are law. So in short, from a management perspective, unang-una talagang kailangan ng skills formation, capacity building sa mga police. Hindi ko sinasabi na without pinning any blame, kailangan talaga ng skills. Kasi kung sigurado sa sarili nila na makaka-score sila, assuming that there is that motivation, they can score by not having to kill it. Kasi unsure sila sa sarili nila. Kaya, pangalawa, the more, how would you call that, qualitative part of it is really values formation. Walang kamatayang values formation. And lastly is, of course, acquisition of technology. Kasi if you empower them, you enable them, give them skills, give them technology, then there will be more, mas incumbent sa kanila na mas marespeto nila yung mga protocols na kailangan sa mga ganong klaseng situation. Pero of course, yung capacity building in terms of skills acquisition and technology, and of course values formation, not para sa mga police at saka sa mga law enforcers natin.
Okay. I was tempted yesterday sana to ask the economic managers if we have 4 million addicts spending 100 pesos per day to satisfy their requirements, gaano kalaki yung drugs sa GDP? Have you ever considered that? Please, microphone po. Hindi, pero guesstimate. If you have 4 million addicts spending 100 pesos per day, this will be a significant part of the country's GDP.
Mababa yung estimate pag gano'n ang basis
Mababa.
4 million times 1,000 is magkano?
Okay. Hindi, ang punto kasi, kung ganun kalaki yung pera, where does the money go? So may failure yung money laundering, yung AMLC, dahil may perang pumapasok gumagalaw sa merkado. Pass. Okay, all right. Okay.
Pwede ba next time, walang media para...
Okay. Hindi, okay lang. Sige. Maayos po yun. Let's look forward. What do you think will be our future? Sabi nga natin, kabataan, pag-asa ng bayan. Kung ang kabataan ay nagiging saksi sa mga ganitong violensya, what does that make of him? What will he be in the future? Granted for yung sinasabi na we have dysfunctional families because you either have a father or a mother working abroad. So, naiiwan yung mga bata and they have the resources. Ano po ang nakikita niyo?
Kung ito hindi mapuputol, napakalungkot, no? Sino ba? Si Kian ba yung nawala na ang kanyang pangarap ay maging pulis? Yung parang malaking kabalintunaan, It's sana ay ito ay isa lamang konting bangungot and mag-umpisa tayo where we're at. Edukasyon, kamulatan na hindi ito dapat gawing permanente. It should not be the condition of life. Let's paint hindi naman masyadong dramatic, but another vision na hindi ganitong napakadilim. Hindi magandang pabaon nito sa ating salin lahi. I like my grandchildren growing in this kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Ilang porsyento ng population natin yung Joey, mga bata, the youth sector? 50 yeah. 50% below 25. I have 4 grandchildren. They are already asking all about this. If that's only 4 out of the 50% of 102 million people. What are their parents telling them about all of this? So what kind of future do we really see if these young people cannot be satisfied with the answers that they see today or the answers that the government is giving them today? I agree with you. So a dark future if we are going to continue. We have to solve, we have to do this right away. It's a very emotional issue, but beyond emotions, this is a very important issue for nation building.
Very well. From an academician and medical practitioner as well.
And ang last message ko is, I will answer your question. What was I doing when I was 17? I was studying hard to enter UP and get to my career, to be able to develop my... And I wish every 17-year-old would be doing the same. Would be in K11 or K12 yata ngayon before they enter SUCs, LUCs, TBI or whatever, all those alphabet soup. The future of our country is with the youth. If we start killing them, wala nang rule of law. We need to actually educate everybody. And I think maganda tong, now we're in a different handle. We have universal healthcare. We have universal education, access to higher education. And then our economic growth is something like 6.5% in the last quarter. And it's been like that for many quarters, right? 17 quarters. So we're in a very sweet spot, and many countries envy our position. Sabi nga nila, demographic dividend. Singapore, Japan, the Scandinavian countries are going. Even China has because of their one-child policy. But we have our youth as our biggest resource. Our 50% of that 100 million are below the age of 25. Ba't natin sila papatayin? Pag-aralin natin. Make them healthy. Pag-aralin natin and make them earn money.
But Ted, in case of Kian, he was at school. And he was not, hindi siya nakatambay. He was on his way, closing the store. So if you tell the kids, you go to school, you study para hindi mangyari. My God, but like my grandson who is with me downstairs, he keeps on asking me, Grandpa, he was also in school and he was working. And we dropped by the wake a few days ago, and we talked to the boys who were playing basketball there. A lot of them will talk if there is no camera and there is no police, but of course they're scared about it. That's why I think we have to handle this very, very seriously, because this is, for me, this is a very important issue that we have to face. All of us will have to face, and we have to solve right away.
Okay. Mon?
Well, isa lang siguro yung point. Kasi may dysfunctional family ka na usapin dito. Actually, isama mo dyan, dysfunctional economy. Despite the 6.5% growth kasi, hindi normal yung source ng wealth natin eh. OFW remittances is not really a measurement ng healthy economy. In fact, yan din ang source ng social dysfunction na sinasabi. Sa case ni Kian, wala yung parents niya. Nanay, particularly. At marami ng kwento dyan na the major source ng problem ng mga ganong klaseng pamilya, yung family life nila nagsuffer sa paghahabol ng pera sa labas. So nung sinabi, ako i-relate ko nito kay Presidente, nung sinabi niya nung last zona niya na gusto niya dito na kumuha ng trabaho yung mga OFW natin, Sa akin actually, yun, tama yun. That's the measurement. Pag napabalik mo na yung mga bata, yung mga nagtatrabaho sa labas, at yung mga foreigner na pupunta sa atin bilang OFW, yan na yung tatak na nag-advance na yung Pilipinas beyond the present ano niya. Maraming mga usapin, kahit yung drug problem, ma-address yan. Dahil yung social pressures na wala eh. Kaya yung malaking usapin sa akin, kung mag-succeed yung economic development,
At maging tunay na inclusive.
ayun, yun ang gusto ko sasabihin. Inclusive na growth ang mangyayari na lahat tayo ay yayaman, hindi lamang yung ilan. Tingin ko, hindi ko sasabing yun ng magic bullet, ano? Pero that can go a long way, ano? Kung isama mo ng universal healthcare, universal access to education, ano yan? Pero, hindi yan usapin ng isang termino. Isang lifetime ano yan na usapin. Pero kung yan ang direksyon ng ating gobyerno, tingin ko, yan na.
Agree with you, it's a byproduct of the OFW.
Okay. Looking at it from an economist's point of view.
Gayahin na lang kita. At 17, I was third year college, taking BSME. Early age, I was kampo na ako ni Father Intengan, fighting Marcos. So I was, that should be 9. Yeah, doctor.
Doctor of Medicine, UP.
He recruited,
Professor ng surgery.
he recruited me into PDSP. So I was very, very tender age. So that is my background talaga. Ano na?
Ako, sabi ko 17.
Yeah, 17. So, nag-underground pero sa Banahaw lang. Kasi napaka-emotionally loaded na. Tsaka ang daming policy complications. I think the guiding rule really is for us as a nation state to allow the rule of law. Ang importante dito kasi yung norm ng rule of law at saka I think yung the norms of human rights I think should be allowed to proceed like all the investigation in the Senate, in the House, all the other I think should, so yun,
Okay.
sa pananaw ko talaga, importante dito yung rule of law at saka social justice.
Okay.
Yun, I think yun pa rin ang pamantayan. Yun lang ang tamang prism para sa atin bilang isang nation state at this stage of our national development. To
Rule
really
of
focus. Kasi those are the fundamental weakness din naman ng Philippine as a nation state. Walang rule of law at walang social justice.
Okay.
So both of them naman, they nagkaano sila na they feed into each other. So, para hindi masayang yung mga social advances that are being made by the Duterte administration as universal healthcare, yung universal check-up, grabe yun. Alam mo, may isang malaki silang ginawa. Yung gagastusin ng PhilHealth, yung kanilang
Primary care.
Oo, pero from 113 to 183. 80 billion. Ay, actually, so malulugi nga yung PhilHealth next year by 66 billion. Kasi yung OPD, yung outpatient. That, for me, that is, actually, if you look at the budget, that is the most radical part of the budget. The single biggest increase na substantial na marami ang makikinabang. So, increase nila yung, ngayon, 30% lang yung kanilang universal check-up, annual check-up na halos ginagamit yung 4-piece yung listahan ng 2.0. Tapos from 30 gagamitin ng 50, tapos mag-OPD pa sila. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na kailangan ma-confine para makapag-partake ng PhilHealth benefits. So to me, ang daming social advances and I hope that this will not be undermined or mawala ng saysay because if you yun nga, ang daming mapupunta rin ako sa mga sinabi nito kaya sana wag masayang yung mga social advances that are being made by the Duterte administration.
Okay.
By just I think focusing on the rule of law and of course social justice and allowing the processes that are already set in place So we come as a people to the correct empirical kung ano ang tamang. So there's no more such thing as alternative truth, but the truth at the same time, let the accountability flow from that how would you call empirical truth, not alternative truth.
Okay.
Baka wag mo ako ikukot mo ba ako dun sa numbers? Hindi.
So yun yung tatanungin ko sa'yo.
O sige na.
Tanong muna kaya.
Okay.
Please. Please.
Yung ano sir, yung tuition. Kasi the past reports say na 20 billion ang kailangan for the budget. Are you saying otherwise, mas kailangan pa natin, kailangan lang natin na mas maliit?
Kasi dalawang portion, yung mandatory tsaka yung compulsory. Yung mandatory, yung SUCs tuition, that is 10.486 billion. Yung free miscellaneous in SUCs, that's 5.2 billion. Yung free tuition in LUCs, 113, mandatory. Yun yung mandatory. Saka yung sa TVIs, which is 3 billion. Yung lahat ng yun, 15 plus 3 is 18, pero may 8 billion na tayo na nasa Unifast at may 3 billion na sila. But this is the basic minimum compliance to the law. Definitely not the spirit of the law, which is universal access. But if you try to comply with the entire law, we have 37 billion. 37 billion ang kailangan, less 8, less 3. So, we need 29 billion, basically. Pero may kasama na dyan na TESD, Tuition Education Subsidies, which is really for private HAZE. Yung, pag nag-aaral ka sa Ateneo, nakapasa ka, but you belong to the lowest 30% of the population, we are trying to target 294,000 students. Grabe. Ang target kasi sana, 294,112 ang makapagkuha ng vouchers next year sa mga private HAZE. So kasi otherwise we don't want to disturb the competitive dynamic between SUCs. Kasi baka magkaroon ng consequences sa quality. I'm not that di na nga ako magko-comment sa ganyan. So yun. In short, yung minimum compliance sa law, ang kailangan lang naman is 18 minus 11, 15, 10 plus 5 plus 3, 18 minus 8, ay minus 11. So 7 billion lang. Minimum compliance.
Per year.
No, for the first year.
For the first
Kasi ang sinasuggest, ang sinasuggest kasi is phase in over time. Pero yung pag phase in over time, kailangan mo na lang, ilagay mo na sa ano yung normal. Hindi yung normal. Yung normal niyan is 37 billion. Less 8, which is already in Unifast. Less 3, which is already with him. So 29 billion. But that is, I would say, full compliance with the spirit of the law.
So susunod na tanong dyan, sir, kaya bang ibigay?
Yung minimum compliance, kayang-kaya. Pero yung sasabihin na ng, 7 billion lang naman eh.
7 billion.
Yeah, because 10 tuition, 5 miscellaneous, plus 3 sa kanya, plus 113 sa LUCs, 113 million. So that is 18, no? 18 billion. Less 8 na nasa Unifast, nasa NEP na, less 3 na nasa kanya na. Siyempre, gumaganyan siya. Hindi pwedeng galawin yon. Pero ibig sabihin, magde-degrade siya ng mga outsourcing sa private TVIs. So, ang lalabas nun, 18 minus 8 minus 3, yun, 8 billion lang kailangan sa minimum compliance ng compulsory items ng Republic Act 10931. Pero kung full compliance tayo sa spirit ng law, what we need is 37,045 billion. Ayan.
37.
Oh, ayan. Less.
CBN is saying na 20 billion.
Alin? No, less mo yung pero hindi ko kasi alam kung anong sinasabi nila in terms of the optional. Kasi ang assumption ko dito may 30% test. Ang hirap ng mga test na to eh. Yung voucher. Kahit yung mga taga-UP, pwede sila mag-voucher actually. So we're trying to target to give 200, assuming 294,000 vouchers of 20,000 each per SEM. Yan yung recommended ng PIDS. Ginamit din namin as assumption. 20,000 per SEM. Automatic, if you enroll, you're part of the lowest 10% or lowest 20 or lowest 30, then you get 20,000 per SEM na parang automatic voucher simply because you're poor and you're enrolled in a college degree.
And then may usapin, Jasmine, na kung may kakayanan yung family mo magbayad, pipigilan ko ba sila? To opt out of this free education. Mayaman yung nanay at tatay ko, ayaw niya nang mag-comply dyan sa mga requirement for higher education. Bayaran ko na lang yung tuition fee ng UP. Anong sasabihin ko? Payag ako kasi the option is you go to a private HEI, which is like hundreds of thousands per semester. So sabihin ko, mayaman kayo, ayaw nyo nang sumali dito, tulong nyo to the youth that are poor. Sige, kukolektahin namin yan. Pwede yun, di ba? Yung opt-out, the family itself opts out and says, I will pay the tuition. Kasi ang isang usapan dito is, meron ba dapat return of service, yung parang yung mga scholar, di ba? Yung mga scholar, meron ba dapat return service agreement ang kukuha ng higher education subsidy? Kung tingin ko meron dapat na you should serve in government or in the Philippines para hindi mag-abroad agad, di ba? Then we stave also the OFW problem. They work in the Philippines, they contribute in the Philippines, they earn in the Philippines, they are taxed in the Philippines, di ba? So they contribute to human development in the Philippines. So, naka-contribute yung higher education and SUCs to our Human Development Index. So, yun yung mga hindi pa malinaw. This will all be clear once the IRR is finalized.
Okay.
So, para maklear natin, yung minimum requirement is 18 billion less. No. 10 plus 5 plus 3, 18, less 11, which is the 7 billion. Yung full compliance is 37. Pero yung magka-diferensya kasi kami sa assumption kung may naglagay ba sila ng test, yung vouchers. Kasi kami, ang assumption is, we want to comply with the law, dapat, next year, meron na pa nag-aral ka sa Adamson, UST, o kahit sang Hayes, at least 294,000 students should be allowed to benefit from kasi parang nire-restore lang namin yung parity na kesyo hindi siya ma-admit sa UP, kailangan niya mag-private Hayes na maano siya, they will suffer from this comparative disadvantage basically.
Okay.
So, better numbers I think is 25 para we're closer. Ang estimate, pero ang assumption kasi niyan, may test ako na 13 billion, tapos, ma'am, para mas clear, may test ako na 13 billion for 294,000 students in private Hayes. Number 2, may nire-retain ko yung wish list ng TESDA na 6.7, di ba? May wish list sa 6.7 na hindi sila gagalawin. So, yun ang dalawang primary assumption. 6.7 plus 13 billion. So, pag tinanggal mo ulit yung dalawang yun, yung 20 billion nila napakataas nun. Kasi mukhang nilalamp nila para mamukhang malaki at matakot tayo.
Okay. So, yung pala ang kwento ron.
Kasi those stories came out in the fight for the hearts of the president. I mean, those numbers were being spewed when there was a competition for the heart of the president. But since he has already signed it, it's time to look at the real numbers. The real number is minimum compliance, 18 billion, less 11, which already in the NEP, National Expenditure Plan, so you have 7. And if you have full compliance, assuming 6.7 sa'yo, diba? 6.7 sa'yo, plus 13 billion for tests. Ako nakakaya talaga itong mga ginagawa ko. Tertiary, 13 billion for vouchers in private Hayes, higher education institute. So that is 13 plus 6.7, so that's 20 billion. So 38 billion siya, less Ano bang available na natin? 11. So, yun. Doon lumalabas yung 28 billion ko.
Kaya ito. Kung minimum.
Yung minimum, hindi na pinag-uusapan yan. Pero syempre, ang gusto natin, especially in the light of the Kia, ayaw kong gamitin sana yun eh.
Sige na, nabanggit yun.
Wag na. I think it makes sense na to really test the voucher system. And of course, to allow TESDA TVIs to do what they are currently doing, which is 6.7 billion, which benefits about 984,000 short-term course na mga beneficiaries.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Meron pa mamali?
Hindi, sir. Pwede ba akong tanong? Okay. Sige po. Ito po kahit sino magtanong, no? Because...
Sino sumagot? Kahit sino sumagot.
Kahit po sinong sumagot, kung gusto niyo po sumagot. But all of you uniformly said we should allow, ito kay Kian po ito, no? We should allow the rule of law, respect human rights, etc., etc. But we have a president who somehow disregards these things, who in many occasions has announced, patayin ko na lang yung mga human rights, ako nang bahala sa mga kasalanan ng mga police, I'm solely responsible. In effect, could you see it's indirectly the fault of the president why we're having incidents like this? Parang you're allowing your people to do these things by your mere pronouncements said numerous times in the course of your 1-year administration.
Si Joey nakasasagot niya.
Kasalanan po ba ng presidente?
Pero, di ko pwede i-quote.
Pero nakakamalo tayo. Nakakote po kayo yan.
Mon Casiple will volunteer.
Wala naman ako.
No quote. Oh.
Well, first of all,
Crisp and sharp.
if you're talking of the president's pronouncements, dalawang type yan eh. On one hand, yung ganun. Depende sa audience kasi. But it's also been quoted as saying na sa mismong zona niya ito, mga inaugural speech, kahit silang speeches na definitely he's recognizing the rule of law. And wala siyang balak na magkaroon ng human rights violations. Whatever man yung worth ng ganong statement. But it's also on record. My second pointer is that pag tingnan mo yung presidente, ito yung isang president na hindi mo pwedeng i-judge by the pronouncements. Kasi marami siyang sinabi hindi niyang ginawa eh. Kahit sa foreign affairs, ano? Ang payo ko nga doon sa mga nagtatanong dyan, including the embassies, you have to judge him by his actions. Ito yung tipo ng presidenteng pragmatic. Hindi siya ideological mag-isip eh. Yung bang may framework at may sinusunod kang ano. Pag nakita niyang okay sa kanya, so yun ang gagawin niya. And I think that's a fair assessment nung galaw niya. Ngayon dito sa anti-drug, may passionate dito na aspect kasi yung mismong personal naniniwala siya na dapat mahinto yung drugs. So you have to start from that. Iba pa yung point na sinasabi niya, I will defend you, yung address to the police ito, ano? Huwag kayong mag-hesitate na labanan yan, yung drug problem. Ngayon, ayaw niya ito yung tingin ko significant part, suspended judgment siya sa action ng police niya. Kaya nga, he will provide support sa defense ng police kung inakusahan ng human rights violation or anything, ano. Minsan nga lang, nagdadrama siya. Kaya ang hirap yun ng difficulty ng judgment dito eh. Ako tingin ko, ang test dyan sa kanya kapag may concrete case eh. Halimbawa, yung kay Major Marcos. Ang tingin niya dun sa case na yon, he will defend him. Kasi wala pa namang judgment ang court eh. May kaso. Hindi niya binawalan yung kaso. Tuloy-tuloy yon. Pero, he will not judge himself, ano? Ngayon, kung tama o mali yung ganung positioning niya, is a political question actually. Pero kung ang tingin niya, tao niya yan, dipinsahan niya, until na magkaroon ng final judgment, I think is well within his prerogative dyan. Itong sa case ni Kian, iba. Kasi dito, una may public outrage talaga. Pangalawa, ang daming ebidensya na pwede mong i-cite na nagpakita talaga na it's a case of extrajudicial killing. Kaya very clear dito, ang tanong sa presidente, nasaan ka ba dyan? To his credit, nagposisyon na siya. Dapat ituloy, investigate, ituloy, kasuhan, ikulong, kung ano man yung nabot. Then he will not support yung ginawa ng pulis. Ako, tingin ko, kung so far, sa kanyang ginagawa, is well within the prerogative of an executive. Ang problema ko lang sa kanya, marami siyang sinabing sobra din eh. Sabi yun, yung sinasabing patayin. May mga question na gano'n eh. Although mayroon sa kagad na conditionality doon, in self-defense. Ang problema, you're encouraging the police to go outside yung kanyang protocol o kanyang legal na limitations. Mabuti sana kung lahat ng pulis nag-iisip, abogado. Pero marami tayong pulis hindi ganun eh. Ang dating binigyan mo ng go signal yan. So, ang tingin ko dyan, that kind of a pronouncement can easily lead to abuses. Diyan may responsibility sa dyan. Kasi you're creating an environment or a situation na magkakaroon ng abuses.
Okay. Well said. I'd like to end our forum. A week ago, I was at Ateneo, and I'd like to recall si Father Bob Sukan, who was the librarian. There was this young lady during our time who had plunging neckline and mataas na hemline. Sabi ni Father Sukan, where are you going? I'm gonna do research, Father. Father Sukan said, why don't you go home? Change your clothes. Don't you think it's too immodest? Sabi niya. Nung napunta ako sa Ateneo last week, na-shock ako. The ladies were either going to the bedroom or going to the beach. They were in short shorts. And I told myself, boy, I'm growing old. However, hindi ko alam kung prophetic yung sinabi ng grupong Buklod in 1980s. Ang sabi, Totoy, makinig ka, huwag kang magpagabi, baka mapagkamalan ka to humandusay dyan sa tabi. Ito po ay bahagi ng awitin ng Buklod. And this was in 1980. I still recall, I used to play this song over DWGW in Legazpi City. So, ito ba coincidence o talagang yun ang kultura ngayon? Sa atin po mga kasama, sa atin po namang Wednesday Roundtable at Lido, maraming salamat po. Magandang araw.